Hello, this is Rick Powers from Western Technical College for Introductory Statistics. Notes for Introstat, hypothesis testing for the mean. Consider this situation. A research study was done where 40 people who worked as hotel maids were told their job was considered to include a lot of exercise. This is true of their job. 4 weeks after they were told this information, their body mass index, BMI, was measured. The mean was found to be 25.7 and the standard deviation was 3.8. Is there evidence that the population mean of BMI for people in such a situation is less than the national average of 26.5? Use alpha equals 0.05. Step 1, determine the hypotheses. The sample information gives us a mean of 25.7. We're comparing that to the standard number of 26.5. So the hypotheses are null hypothesis, the mu is equal to 26.5. Alternative hypothesis, mu is less than 26.5. Note, mu in these statements represents the population mean of BMI for hotel maids that would be told their job included exercise. We start by assuming that that population mean is the same as the national average, and we want to prove that the population mean is less than the national average. Step 2, verify the conditions of the test. There are two situations where we can verify the conditions. A, we know the population is bell-shaped. B, we have a sample size larger than 30. Since the sample size is 40, we can go ahead with the analysis. Step 3, calculate the test statistic or the test value. And step 4, calculate the p-value. These two calculation steps can be done using SALT. Here's the link to SALT. Under procedure selection, choose one sample T. Inferential statistics, one sample T. Next, fill in the information from the sample. For reference, the symbol for the sample mean is X bar, the sample standard deviation is S, and the sample size is N. So going back here to the sample information, the mean is 25.7, standard deviation is 3.8. Mean is 25.7, standard deviation is 3.8, sample size is 40. Make sure the hypothesis test button is clicked. The hypothesized mean is the number from the null hypothesis. So that would be the 26.5. Hypothesized mean, 26.5. And indicate the direction of the alternative hypothesis, in this case, less than. Click Generate Results. Note that SALT gives us the null and alternative hypotheses. The DF is degrees of freedom. It's a mathematical expression that's used in the calculation. Its value is n-1. In this case, the sample size is 40. DF, or degrees of freedom, is 39. The T statistic is the test value. It's a description of how far away our sample number is from what we would expect if the population followed the null hypothesis. In this example, the test value is about 1.33. T statistic, negative 1.33. The p-value refers to the probability of having an extreme sample based on our sample information. It's the area in the tail of the distribution, in this case, the left-tailed area, based on a t-score of negative 1.33. That area is not very small. The p-value is 0.09538, listed here. Step 5, draw a conclusion and interpret the meaning. Since the p-value is not less than alpha, we do not reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, there is not enough evidence to prove the alternative hypothesis. Stated in the terms of the problem, with 95% confidence, there is not enough evidence to prove that the population mean of BMI for hotel maids that are told about exercise on the job is less than the national average of BMI. Note, since the sample number is not an unusual event, then the fact of the sample mean being lower than the national average could be just a random chance event.